Well, this session is going to be touch upon lighting and also appliances. But our first speaker will be Patrick, and Patrick will touch upon the lighting part. But yeah, Patrick actually working with me on various lighting initiatives in ASEAN. And before that, let me touch upon we did the survey on the LED lighting 2 years ago in ASEAN countries. And what we found is the LED lighting in the region, the quality is not that good. And what Pratik is going to present today will be the model regulation that would help the ASEAN country, especially like Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia, will improve the efficiency and the quality of LED lighting. Patrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And I promise this will be the last time I speak today. But thank you for the opportunity. And I'm presenting on different aspects of our work, so it's also a wider team that's contributing to this. As Sommai said, we have a lot of partners and work with IIEC and ICA, and a wide range of other partners that are contributing to this work as well. Okay, so on lighting, so I'll mainly focus on the work in Southeast Asia that we've been working on, and also the model regulations, but just want to provide a little bit of a higher level of context on it. So there's a lot of emphasis on cooling now, but we still want to encourage you to continue with the lighting activities and continue with regulating the markets. There has been good advancements in most markets for a portion of the market to be going to LED, but still remains a large portion of the market not, and then also the quality aspects for LEDs is also a concern. So just a few points here. Over the next 2 decades, the growth of lighting services is expected to projected to rise by approximately 50% relative to the current rates of use. So the use of light will be increasing by 50%. But at the same time, electricity for lighting accounts for 15% of the global power consumption and 5% of greenhouse gas emissions. But linked to that as well is the savings opportunity. So typically for a high efficient lights like an LED, the savings compared to like incandescent, they're around 85 or even higher to 90%. So large savings opportunities for lighting still available. On the right-hand side, you see a guidebook that we developed similar to other products with a wide range of partners. That shows different examples of what can be used to regulate markets. Here you see, just expanding on what I just mentioned, so different lighting technologies, LEDs, compact fluorescents, halogen lamps, and incandescents. So going by efficiency levels, most efficient to the least. And there you see that in the typical efficiency, efficacy column. But you also see lifetime as well. So a typical lifetime of LEDs, we see 15 to 30,000 hours. CFLs also longer lives compared to halogens and incandescents. Of course, there is some quality and lifetime issues that need to be addressed with LEDs and CFLs. And that's what I'll explain more further on as well. And you see the savings opportunity. So globally, 250 terawatt hours per year. And that's equivalent to the total electricity of Mexico. But that also means 18 billion in electricity bill savings. So for the consumers, businesses, or residential consumers, that will be saved on their electricity bills and can be used for other sources. And of course, the climate benefits as well. Street lighting, another aspect that we're working on in many countries. So street lighting, globally, there's about 300 million street lights worldwide. And on average, those are long-lived assets as well, about 20 years. Lighting can account for up to 40% of a city's total energy consumption. So obviously, very important for cities to, for their budget concerns, to reduce that cost. So the LED aspect is one, transitioning to LEDs, but also combining that with controls. So as you see on the bottom right, if you combine that with controls, so dimming of lights, street lights at late periods when there's not many pedestrians or cars on the road, is one example. That could save up to, combined with LEDs, up to about 80%, compared to 50 to 70% with LEDs alone. So now going to a bit more into the work in the region. And this is work that has mainly been led by ICA with Jean-Marc over the last years. So really presenting on that work. So at the global level, so this is following up, as I think many of you are aware, following up on the work of ACES, some success with that, so continuing on with lighting. So as I said before, reducing the objectives are reducing electricity consumption related to lighting in the ASEAN countries, so both the domestic and professional sectors, and providing the greenhouse gas emission benefits of that. And then finally, also the regional trade benefits of having a harmonized approach to standards on lighting in Southeast Asia. Okay, what I wanted to kind of focus on was the work package that the work is currently at and has been circulated to the lighting working group within ASEAN. So to provide a bit more information on that, that's a regional policy roadmap for the region. And what that includes is linear fluorescent lamps, linear LEDs, non-directional LEDs. It includes a test method recommendations. It includes the recommended MEPS levels, so it's 80 lumens per watt. It was recommended that this was adopted by countries by 2023. And then there'll be a revision of the regional roadmap in 2022, 2023. So this is based on a market assessment that was conducted and alignment with other regional regulations. So as I said, a revision of about 5 years. And there's additional recommendations for testing infrastructure, so testing laboratories, for example, and MRAs and reporting on this. So that's been with the lighting working group, and what we want to understand more is how that can be taken forward for the final approval within the region, so that we can proceed on to the next steps, which would be completing this within the national roadmaps. And what I wanted to provide you with an update on our side is how there's a tool there that can help with the national roadmaps to be used within your country. So there's the status of policies in Southeast Asia. That's what we had on file. If there's something wrong here, just let me know. But there's some policies existing, some in progress as well. So the point is there to harmonize policies and to implement new policies in countries without it. There's a number of ongoing projects that we have, so I just wanted to share that we have existing projects on lighting and also other products. Just to provide one example, we have in the region in Myanmar and Indonesia, 2 separate projects through the Global Environment Facility. So I just wanted to provide you with one example on the work in Indonesia. So this is a national project that is with the Global Environment Facility. It's a UN Environment and UNDP project. And this could be a similar approach that other countries may want to follow, not only in lighting, but other works, other products, how to a more comprehensive approach to implementing policies in your country. So improved quality of energy efficient, affordable, locally produced efficient lighting. So what that includes is for local industry in Indonesia, to increase the capacities for LED lighting. So some capacity building there since there is the local industry. And then more on the policy side, you see in green. So with minimal energy performance standards updating and energy label, public procurement guidelines, and then, as I've said a few other times, testing of products to monitoring, verification, enforcement, and capacity building for customs officials that the products are tested or checked before they enter the market. And then finally, in the blue, you see increased penetration of high quality and efficient lighting. So what that includes is development of a financial mechanism, still being decided further, but so for the purchase of LED lighting, that there would be a financial mechanism to support in reducing the upfront cost of it. And of course, an awareness campaign for kind of cross-cutting across those different aspects. So that's just an example of an approach that could follow at the national level as well, with additional funding resources. But what I wanted to make aware, to inform you on, so you see in the slide before in the cooling, on the model regulations that we've developed. But what I wanted to emphasize is, so that I have additional slides going into the lighting one, but we've developed this and it's been endorsed by different industry associations. So the largest industry association, the Global Lighting Association, also an LED-focused industry association, the International Solid State Alliance, but also other institutions like the Natural Resource Defense Council, Top 10, TerraCycle, which is works in more end-of-life products. So it's been endorsed for implementation by a wide range and some of the largest groups as well. So going into what is within this, so this is focusing on general service lamps. So focusing on the consumer lamp. Similar to the other model regulations that we have, it really provides text that would be happy if you copy, paste, or if you, of course, maybe there's some areas where you want to adapt that, and that's certainly okay as well. The point is that it provides you with information on the terms and definitions, the scope of the coverage, energy efficiency, and so on. So I'll go a bit more in detail, please. So on the scope and exemptions, for lighting, it includes all general service lamps. It applies to all technologies, including incandescents, halogens, fluorescents, so it's technology neutral in that sense. It often the most common source of lighting in homes, so that's why we focused on that. And we're also working on linear fluorescence, because we know that's important, particularly in Southeast Asia. And then there are some exemptions as well. There's some products that you may want to consider not including with this, either because they're not used significantly and they need a particular source. So you see some examples of this, like in food service or aquariums or studio lighting. So some examples of things that you may want to not include within the regulation, just because there needs to be some specialty lighting, and LEDs may not be a part of it. But we try to keep that relatively limited. So looking at it, there's 2 levels within it that you can choose. And what that provides, so both, there's an option A and option B. So option A phases out incandescents, halogens. Option B does not phase out of compact fluorescents. And option A does phase that out and goes directly to LEDs. So there's obviously advantages for option A in that there's, with B, with CFLs, you have the concern of mercury, for example. So generally, we're encouraging countries to take the option A for implementation. And then here you see the lumens per watt for the amount of lumens that it provides. So it's slightly different than what's been proposed in ASEAN, and that can be adapted as well based on what's in the region. It also allows for lower levels for directional lamps or connected smart lamps as well. So there's some lower levels included. And then, as I was saying before, there are quality concerns with some of the products. So within this, we try to have also testing for ensure that the quality of the product will last as well, that it puts out good quality light, that it lasts for a reasonable amount of time, and other issues as well. So just running through what that includes is like color rendering, to require the lamp reproduce colors of at 80 is an accepted level for normal light. That may be different within Southeast Asia. Then we include an early failure test, so to ensure that the product does last, that it is tested for at least a certain amount of time to ensure that it won't fail soon after. So there's within this includes a 1,000-hour test, so that the product would at least be tested for 1,000 hours. A lot of discussion on that and how long you should test for. Obviously, you don't want to test for so long that it's you can't test for the full life of products for 20 years. And then on flicker as well, is that LEDs do flicker, but obviously testing for it that there's no visible flicker areas. And then there's recommendations for product requirements and product information requirements. So these are typically what you have seen on labels. So that there are some information communicating to the consumer. So there again, you should see the timeline for those. The general consumer lamp one is done. The consumer lamp one we hope to have done by June, along with the other products that we're working on. And of course, this goes within a broader approach, as you saw in the example that I provided in Indonesia, where model regulations is one aspect of the broader approach to color. And then I mentioned these a few times in the other presentations. There's other tools available. Up top, you see these country savings assessments. We're updating those. I have some examples of each of the countries printed, so I can provide those to you. What this shows is the savings potential for your country. And then also other tools that may be of interest are more on monitoring, verification, and enforcement guides that we previously developed with the support of Australia. That could be helpful on that topic of product registrations and other topics. So that's it from our presentation. Thanks again for listening to me today.